Previously on the stupid Raw review.
Ziggler and McIntyre go over, and they're the new tag champs. So you want to talk about killing like any build for any of this? I will bet anything that McIntyre and Ziggler will now be facing Rollins and Ambrose at Hell in a Cell for the tag titles, and that's why they did this switch. It's on the fly panic booking because they have no plan of where they're ever going. They didn't know what they were going to do with the B team when they made them tag champs. So now they want to do something with the Shield versus all these guys. So now the tag belts they want on the line. I fucking told you. All right, let's do it again. As always, Tier 2 members, I appreciate your support. We open up this week with Braun Strowman, Dolph Ziggler, Drew McIntyre in ring, and of course the locker room heels follow them out like they did last week, including Kevin Owens, who has a severe dislike for Braun, so that makes sense. So they cut a promo on the Shield, and then the Shield come out, but of course they wait until Braun is done with his promo. Remember the days when people would be realistic and their music would hit in the middle of somebody's promo, or they'd run out and cut him off? Now they just stand there, behind the curtain or wherever they are and just wait. Is he done talking? Okay, hit my music and I'll go now. Do you guys see how this doesn't make sense realistically? So when they come out, there's a big brawl. It's 3 against 15, and then the 3 win because they have axe handles. And then the 3 heels, including Braun, retreat. That's right, Braun Strowman is retreating. It blows my mind how they could actually kill Braun Strowman if they continue this path. This guy, the monster, everything he's done, he now retreats because he's a heel? So next we have the Shield arguing with security, and if you want to laugh, if you didn't see this, rewatch it, and right at the beginning, watch the short little security guy closest to the camera. So Baron Corbin tells the Shield, if they don't leave, they will go to jail for a long, long time. For what? First match, Nikki Bella versus Ruby Riott. I'm starting to think that the Bellas came back because their ratings on their reality shows are down and the season premiere is starting soon. Nah. So Nikki Bella goes over in the match, not a surprise. Now, hold on, guys. I gotta go set my DVR for Total Divas. We see Drake Maverick giving a pep talk to the authors of Pain, and this is their hook to commercial. Props for doing a hook. But it's not going to do anything good because nobody cares about the people in it because you haven't booked them properly. And speaking of booking them properly, next is AOP versus a bunch of jobbers, so still nobody cares. So now we see some highlights from SmackDown, but I thought Raw hated SmackDown. Remember the invasion and all that stuff? Oh, yeah, that's right. That only happens in November, so in about 2 months, we'll see them hating each other again. There's been so many video packages already on the show at this point. Like, this is how they try to sell the events in the WWE Network on a go-home show. They show the garbage that they've already done instead of filming a new compelling episode that builds anticipation. So we have a Triple H in ring next, and he shows a prediction poll that thinks 81% think that The Undertaker will win. And then he cuts a boring promo on Undertaker. Like, this was a terrible follow-up to the amazing Undertaker Shawn Michaels in ring from last week. Can we not be more creative than this, guys? Now, okay, Undertaker's going to be here next week, so I bet you Triple H doesn't show up next week. Ziggler and McIntyre versus the B team. This is the rematch clause. McIntyre and Ziggler go over, and then Ambrose and Rollins hit the ring and attack, and it's just what I said last week. You know why this is happening. Then backstage, Baron Corbin is yelling at Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose because he said if they came back, he would have them arrested. And they say that the Shield left. This is Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. Is this Nickelodeon? So they bring in a local sheriff to arrest Baron Corbin for falsifying a police record. Like, is this how it happens from a completely different city? A local sheriff is going to arrest this person without even having the district or the city in question investigate or see? Why didn't they investigate this stuff when he filed the police report and they arrested the Shield? If it was a false police report, why are they waiting till the following Monday to have a cop in New Orleans go and get him on Raw? Then we see Ambrose, and he leaves with the cop, and he's arguing about a speeding ticket. And then we see the cop's name tag, and his last name is Ambrose. Okay, so is he related to Ambrose, and he was doing this as a joke? Is he not really a cop? Was he just pretending to be a cop? They didn't explain this at all. Then we have Kevin Owens versus Tyler Breeze, and the match never happens. Owens just beats up Breeze, and then he cuts a promo, and he explains why he came back after he quit 2 weeks ago because Baron Corbin called him and begged him to come back, and he agreed that he would come back if he isn't held accountable for what he does to his opponents. And then he says that people can blame Bobby Lashley for this. He says he quit in the first place because Lashley hurt Sami Zayn, and then he came back because Lashley hurt Sami Zayn. I apologize for the Nickelodeon reference earlier, guys. This is much, much worse. Then we have Bobby Roode and Chad Gable versus The Ascension. Are you watching last week's Raw review, guys, where I covered this match? No, this happened again. So how do you get the crowd behind Roode and Gable? By having them beat the meaningless Ascension 2 weeks in a row? People get paid to write this show. So backstage, Corbin tells Ziggler and McIntyre that they're defending the titles at Hell in the Cell against Rollins and Ambrose because he didn't want to get arrested. And then Braun runs off to look for Roman. And then we have Ronda Rousey and Natalya versus Alexa Bliss and Mickie James. And Rousey makes Mickie James tap, and then Alexa Bliss gets a cheap shot in after the match. I was glad she got heat. I always complain about baby faces being up on the Go Home show, but my question is, was this enough? I don't know, because Alexa ended up still retreating up the ramp, and Rousey stood tall in the ring, so I don't know if this was enough heat to build anticipation for new people or not. We see Elias, and he's complaining about his tea, and then Braun Strowman is looking for Roman, and he beats up some jobber. I like that multiple things are going on at the same time here, but I wish the camera would have went back to Elias to see what his reaction was, like if he was hiding, or I'm sure it could have been hilarious showing Elias's reaction after Braun kicked the crap out of that jobber guy. Charlie's with Ronda and Natalya, and she wants to know if Ronda's injured, I guess from that kick by Alexa. I don't know. And then, for a live promo, because obviously this was after the match, she was all sweaty and everything. Ronda, I thought Ronda did pretty good here. No complaints with that part. I wish we would have had something, though, where she was looking for Alexa and then would have got duped, and Alexa would have got more heat going into the pay-per-view. They could have even intertwined it with Braun looking for Roman, because Alexa and Braun in the mixed match challenge, and have those storylines intercross, and Ronda ends up with Braun and Alexa with Roman or something. I mean, they could have been creative with this, is all I'm saying, and Alexa could have got some heat. So Elias in-rings next, and he's interrupted by Mick Foley. Another legend, another lackluster pop by the crowd. And I don't understand it. Is it because there's so many kids in the crowd and they don't know who he is? Really, honestly, I don't know. But I thought Shawn got a lighter pop than he should have last week, and I thought Foley got a lighter pop than he should have this week. So Elias says he's standing in the ring with a broken man, and he cuts a really good promo on Foley here. And just as he's ripping into Foley, the marks start chanting Mr. Socko. They're totally not interested in the moment in the ring, what's going on right in front of their face. They just wanted to do a stupid chant. And it killed the momentum briefly for this otherwise amazing promo between these two. It's so embarrassing, these chants, these marks. So then Foley continues on, and he gets angry, and he cut a hell of a promo here. And he announces that he's going to be the ref for Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman inside the Hell in a Cell. It feels like they came up with this last moment here. I like the placement of the announcement on the Go Home show. That's where you want to do stuff like this. Get the guys that are on the fence. Am I going to get the network to see this? You do stuff like this on the Go Home show. It's something I complain about all the time. I'm happy they did it here. Why I say I think it was a last-minute decision is there's absolutely zero build-up to this in the prior weeks at all. So Elias tells Foley to get out of the ring because he's taking up too much of his time, and then Foley says that Stephanie wanted him to make one more match for old time's sake, so he says Elias is going to face Finn Balor. And then Finn Balor goes over. I don't think Elias ever wins. I mean, heels over strong? Not in the WWE. So then we see Bobby Lashley in the gym, and Lio Rush is trying to motivate Bobby Lashley here. He was really good in this, I thought. It's a guy, I know he was in NXT. I never saw him in NXT, but here it didn't matter. And that's a good thing. That's where they've been dropping the ball. They always introduce these people like you're supposed to know who they are, like they think that everybody that watches Raw watches NXT when they don't. But the way that this guy was introduced with Bobby Lashley, he was kind of, his character here was introduced right on the spot. Bobby knew his name. You saw what this guy was up to. He's trying to motivate him at the gym so he could just be somebody that Bobby knows. We don't necessarily have to know that he's from NXT. So this is a step in the right direction of introducing NXT talent, but I'm sure they'll drop the ball with the creative on this guy going forward anyway, so who gives a shit. So Charlie is backstage with Braun, and he can't find Roman, so Charlie tells him to go to the ring and call him out, and then a light bulb goes off in Braun's head, and he goes. I mean, did Braun really need Charlie to give him this idea? He's a heel, so he's dumb now? So next, Braun goes, and he calls out Roman Reigns, and again, Roman politely waits for him to finish cutting his promo before the music hits, and then Roman, for some reason, is on top of the announce table, and then he gets off the announce table, and Superman punches Strowman. He didn't Superman punch off the announce table. He climbed down and then did the Superman punch. So what the hell was the point of him being on the announce table in the first place? They go back and forth, and it ends up Reigns gives a Samoan drop to Strowman through part of the stage. This was a really good looking move, but they should have went off the air right here with Michael Cole screaming, "Oh my God," putting over both of them, could be seriously injured. What's going to happen to Hell in a Cell? But no, what they end up doing is they show Reigns pacing around on top of the stage afterwards. They totally killed all the momentum of this. Why couldn't he just been laying there with Braun, both of them out as they go off the air? I don't understand why they never go off the air hot. How do they not know to leave the people on a cliffhanger?